All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, my name is Austin Copenaver, and on behalf of the Student Government Association and Arkansas State University, I would like to welcome you all to the 2013 Student Government Association Presidential and Vice Presidential Candidate Debate. Here today, we have two parties that will be debating. We have DeAndre Anderson and Jack Ellington for President, and Katie Calloway and Sarah Hamilton for Vice President. At this time, your presidential candidates will offer their opening statements. DeAndre, we will begin with you. You have 2 minutes to share your statements, and then we will move on to the opening statements of Jack. DeAndre, your time begins now.
I'm DeAndre Anderson, a junior biology major from Little Rock, Arkansas, with the emphasis on pre-med. I've been a part of SGA for 3 years as a freshman senator, a sophomore senator, and a current chief of staff. I've chosen Sarah Hamilton as my running mate because we both have demonstrated proven leadership and passion to make this university succeed. The platform of our campaign is, college isn't about choosing the right university, it's about creating it. The mission of this platform is to strive towards academic excellence, implement new traditions that will enhance campus, community, student, and alumni involvement, and also outreach to the community of Jonesboro. Thank you.
Thank you, DeAndre. Jack, your 2 minutes begins now.
Hello, my name is Jack Ellington. I'm an animal science major here at Arkansas State. I'm a sophomore, and I have chosen Katie Calloway as my vice president. I've been a member of SGA for 2 years, and I believe that I have proven qualities of leadership to run this, and we have chosen to increase the popularity of campus with tradition and accessibility for the students. And we would like to be a voice for the students throughout the campus and to make this campus better for everybody else.
All right, thank you, Jack. Thank you both for your opening statements. We will now enter into the questioning portion of the debate. We'll begin with the presidential candidates. I'll ask them 5 questions. Both candidates will answer each question, and the candidate that answers the first will alternate. Jack, you will begin the first round of questioning. You have 2 minutes to answer each question. If you are the second to answer, I'll repeat the question before your time limit begins. At this time, we will begin the first round of questioning. Jack, once again, you will begin this round. DeAndre, you will be the first to answer the second question. Jack, your time will begin after I ask the question. Please explain your top 3 campaign initiatives.
Alrighty, the 3 top ideas that we have, one has already been put through on campus, and that is a Safe Ride. And that is a organization that they have at the University of Arkansas that brings people back from downtown or a place of where they may consume alcohol at a safer rate. Another idea is we want to connect Order of the Pack with the community, make it to build tradition because tradition wins, and that's something that we need because that's something we have lost when we lost the Indians. And another thing is we don't have all the answers, but we look for ideas from other people, such as one idea we had was the accessibility to the intramural fields, which is something that needs to be fixed because basically you have to crawl over a ditch and jump over a railroad track to get there if you don't have a vehicle, and not everybody has a vehicle. And so those are 3 things that we are looking to make this campus better.
All right, thank you, Jack. DeAndre, please explain your top 3 campaign initiatives.
As mentioned in our platform, my top 3 campaign initiatives, number 1 is to strive towards higher academic standards. We all know this is an institution of success for academics, so therefore that's our first one. With that being said, one of the things we would like to incorporate is a GPA into Red Wolf rewards. If you should be rewarded for coming to school and doing right and making sure our retention rate is not so high. Another one of our campaign initiatives is incorporating new traditions that will enhance campus, community, students, and alumni involvement. We need to get everybody up on the bandwagon, have everybody involved with the university. We can't rely on students only to make sure the football team and the basketball team gets their support. It's a community effort. If you look at Fayetteville, everybody in Fayetteville supports that university, and that's what we've got to get started in Jonesboro. The third thing is it's to piggyback off the second one. We need to basically expand our outreach to the city of Jonesboro. We have a lot of local We have a lot of local, restaurants or whatnot that need to support ASU. A lot of them people graduated from Arkansas State University, but sometimes they might support the University of Arkansas. So our biggest thing is to get them involved with the Jonesboro Chamber of Commerce and get them involved with the Arkansas State University.
All right. Thank you, DeAndre. DeAndre, you'd be the first to answer the second question. What information would you provide if an incoming freshman student asked about the iPad initiative?
Well, basically, as being a part of Chief of Staff this year on Hunter's Petra's staff, iPad initiative is one of the things that came up several times. The iPad initiative is basically where incoming freshmen are rewarded, not necessarily rewarded an iPad, but they rent out an iPad and use it accessible for books. The teachers will also get knowledge on the iPad initiative. That way, the classroom will run smoothly when the freshman gets those iPads. So what I would inform a freshman is, basically you're going to rent out the iPad and you're going to use this for academic purposes. At the end, it'll be like a monthly fee. At the end, after the iPad is paid off, that iPad would be theirs. So not only would they be using it towards higher academic success, it's kind of a reward for staying in school also.
Thank you, DeAndre. Jack, what information would you provide if an incoming freshman student asked about the iPad initiative?
Information I would provide to them is I would first start off telling them that I believe it's a great idea because we live in the technology decade, and you need to learn. That will help you learn better how to communicate with technology, which is a big thing that now is through corporations. It is also cost efficient for students, and because the way that the ebook is, it's cheaper, and you can end up getting the iPad and you can use it later on for the next 3 years after your freshman year.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Jack, you'll be the first to answer the third question. What are unique ways your administration would solicit campus feedback in order to formulate timely resolutions?
Can you repeat the question?
What are unique ways your administration would solicit campus feedback in order to formulate timely resolutions?
I guess the best way to do that would to formulate more stuff through my campus that gets directly to the students to allow students to know what is being passed and what needs to be passed, because there is a little bit of a lag between the students and the SGA, I believe right now, that the students are kind of missing what's happening, and if we get that and get the information in and out quick, then we can get it on to administration and send it to them so that there's a better connection between the students and the higher administration, so therefore we can get those sent through quicker.
All right, thank you, Jack. DeAndre, what are unique ways your administration would solicit campus feedback in order to formulate timely resolutions?
First of all, we'll have to get the proper administration into office. We need the proper public relations director, which Stevie Overby on my staff this year did an excellent job of using Twitter and Facebook. Chief of staff, we will make sure the chief of staff is properly etiquette, and also the parliamentarian, the secretary, we'll have to get the proper administration, basically what I'm saying. And then we would utilize Facebook and Twitter, also utilize the Daily Digest. If you look on the Daily Digest, this presidential debate is not in there. It should be no reason why this presidential debate is not in Daily Digest. This is a big event. This is basically, picking your president and your vice president for next year. So all students basically should be here in support. That's how we utilize it. Also, the TVs that we have just now incorporated out there in the hallway, we'll utilize those and put events up there as well. One more thing, we will get more involved with SAB, the Student Activities Boards. That way they can relate issues to the students.
Thank you, DeAndre. All right, DeAndre, you'll be the first to answer question 4. Given this scenario, a student asks you the question, why did the sorority houses seem to go up overnight? The liberal arts building seems to be at a standstill. How would you respond?
The way I respond with that is, we have to attract the type of students that Arkansas State University wants. We have to have the proper students here, and the biggest thing, my concern is, in order to get those students here, we have to reward them with the right things on campus. Sorority housing is a big deal to the sorority girls. So therefore, if we get the right sorority girls on campus and we get those students here, then the liberal arts building will go up faster. Liberal arts building is it's basically, it's a building in progress. It has shown tremendous improvement over time, and they're working on it steadily to make sure that gets up, so, along with the sorority housing. So the way I would answer that is, once we get the students here and make sure that they're here, we incorporate the buildings that they need here.
Thank you, DeAndre. Jack, given this scenario, a student asked the question, why did the sorority houses seem to go up overnight, but the liberal arts building seems to be at a standstill? How would you respond?
Well, the liberal arts building was funded by a grant that was actually cut off, so therefore we were set to do it right that way, and I believe the sorority houses were from a whole different standpoint, so they were kind of separated from the different money that was to bring them up. But we will work with administration if we're elected to try to get that back on task and to get it rolling. But I believe since they are separated that it really doesn't relate to each other.
All right, thank you, Jack. Jack, you'll be the first to answer question 5. What do you believe is the most pressing student issue, and how would you advocate to resolve this issue?
Can you repeat the question?
What do you believe is the most pressing student issue, and how would you advocate to resolve this issue?
The most pressing student issue. I believe probably the most pressing student issue right now would, we have a disconnect of students as just students, not holding any position from the higher administration, such as the chancellor and vice chancellor. And like I said in the question earlier, there's a lag of communication, and I don't really have all the answers to fix that, but I believe that there needs to be a better communication between the higher administration and the students so that we can come together as a whole. And like I said, that would help build tradition and make this campus better.
All right, thank you, Jack. DeAndre, what do you believe is the most pressing student issue, and how would you advocate to resolve this issue?
Ownership. We have to make sure that the students have ownership to what they're paying for. I mean, this isn't my university, this isn't Sarah University, nor Jackson or Katy. This is all our university. So therefore, we all need ownership and take initiative on exactly what's happening. With that being said, we basically need to build a relationship. You know, we all need to build a relationship, as Jack mentioned, with the administrators, the football team, the basketball team, the baseball team. Everybody has to have ownership and feel like they're a part of that team. Because on Saturdays or Tuesday, whenever the game has been going on, we're all in that thing together. So therefore, we all need to take ownership on exactly what's happening on campus.
All right, thank you, DeAndre. This completes round 1 of the questioning portion of the debate. Now we will move on to round 2. This portion of the debate features our vice presidential candidates. During this portion of the debate, I will ask each 2 questions. The candidates will answer each question, and the candidate who answers first will alternate. Sarah, you will begin this round. You have 2 minutes to answer each question. If you are the second to answer a question, I will repeat the question before your time limit begins. At this time, we will begin the second round of questions. Once again, Sarah, you will answer the first question. Katie, you will answer the second question first. Sarah, what experience do you have that will aid you in running Senate meetings and prepare you for this position?
I've had a lot of experience on campus as a whole, and I believe that having the experience in different parts of campus, like in the fine arts and in Alpha Gam, and especially in my major, and just being involved in different parts of campus will definitely help me. I'm very active in college Republicans, and seeing as their meetings proceed and go through, it's really helped me in how to lead a meeting and know how the procedure goes.
Thank you, Sarah. Katie, what experience do you have that will aid you in running Senate meetings and prepare you for this position?
I have tons of past leadership experience. First off, I've been on SGA Senate this past year, and also my major is political science, so I've had a lot of experience with professors having me get up and lead class, as far as that's the curriculum base that the classes I've taught, you teach the lesson. And also, I've been Alpha Gamma Delta Sisterhood Coordinator, Vice President of Scholarship, and am currently Vice President of Member Development, so I actually do run the meetings when our president is not there.
Okay. Thank you, Katie. Katie, you'll be the first to answer question 2. Katie, over the past few years, SGA has seen turnover with many Senate positions. As Vice President, how will you minimize this turnover and encourage senators to stay active?
Being on SGA this past year, I've seen the turnover actually in reality, and so every meeting we had, it seemed like we were constantly taking nominations for people to fill Senate seats that were empty, and we had senators back out throughout the semester. I think a large portion of that, to minimize that issue, is publicity of SGA. As Jack said earlier, SGA, sometimes the student body as a whole does not know what's going on with SGA, and that's no, one individual or one group's fault. It's, publicizing SGA as far as the empty seats that are available through the colleges, telling them there is a Senate seat open for their college. The classes saying there's a freshman seat open, there's a junior seat open, and having those filled, because with empty seats and constantly that seemed to be majority of our business was filling empty seats. It wasn't necessarily legislative issues.
Okay, thank you, Katie. Sarah, over the past few years, SGA has seen turnover with many Senate positions. As Vice President, how will you minimize this turnover and encourage senators to stay active?
I think the more events that SGA heads up, the more active that the senators will be, so they'll be able to stay in and want to stay in. I think we need to all communicate with each other and really see what the problem is as far as why those seats are being left open and turning over. So I think communication is definitely key.
All right, thank you, Sarah. This concludes the second round of questioning portion of the debate. We will now move on to the third round of questioning. During this round, the presidential candidates will each have the opportunity to ask one another a question. Each question will be followed by a 2-minute response. Once the presidential candidates have finished their questions and answers, the vice presidential candidates will also have the opportunity to ask their opponent a question. They will have 2 minutes to answer as well. The presidential candidate to first offer a question will be Jack. DeAndre, you will then answer. Next, DeAndre, you will ask your question and Jack will respond. The vice presidential candidate to first offer a question will be Sarah. Katie, you will then answer. Next, Katie, you will ask your question and Sarah will respond. We will now begin the third round of questioning. Jack, you may now ask your question.
DeAndre, what are the 5 reasons you chose Sarah Hamilton as your vice president?
Reason number 1, she's a dedicated individual. A lot of this stuff that's been going on in the campaign, she was behind the scenes, so therefore she's very dedicated. I know for a fact she'll help me take this thing to the next level. Reason number 2, she has experience. Although she doesn't have experience in SGA, sometimes we might need to go out our niche and find someone who has experience in other areas. Sarah has experience in other areas, and that kind of gives us a different perspective and point of view to allow us to see different things that's going on outside of student government. Reason number 3, she's well qualified she's from Jonesboro, so therefore, she's not from Jonesboro, she's from Perigo, so therefore she allows us to go out and, recruit students in the Perigo area. Reason number 3, she's a very attractive young lady. Reason number 4, by her being Miss ASU, that allows students to basically, want to be a part of SGA because, that was 5? Okay.
Thank you, DeAndre. You may now ask your question to Jack.
Outside of SGA, what have you accomplished to improve, outside of SGA and your fraternity, what have you accomplished to improve a diverse student body?
That's a good question. Really, other than out of the fraternity and SGA, I don't really have any other connections. I have some friends in and out that I have in classes, but other than that, no, I do not.
All right, thank you, Jack. Moving on to the vice presidential candidates. Sarah, you may now ask your question.
Katie, we all know originally you had planned to run on DeAndre's ticket for SGA. You both had met and planned your campaign, discussing details on how you could win the race. However, you switched tickets at the last minute, blindsiding DeAndre. On the Ellington Callaway for SGA Facebook group, there is a statement, and I quote, "Consider both candidates and think on those thoughts and choose who you believe can represent this university with honor, pride, and loyalty. How do you plan to display honor, pride, and loyalty, especially after switching tickets?
Knew this question would come up. So, principle takes precedent over loyalty every time. And I have no personal differences with DeAndre. I originally did choose to run with DeAndre, however, I did switch tickets. And it was because I saw an injustice to the community and the student body, and it is a term called cronyism, and I'll define that term. Cronyism is when you choose your friends to take spots that you get to select if you're elected position. It's, you can take it for how you want, that is the term, and I don't agree with that DeAndre is doing. He's already chosen his top paid position on the SGA staff, and I did not think that was fair to the student body. I think that it should be open to the entire student body because we are representatives of the student body. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Katie. Katie, you may now ask your question.
Sarah, what resolution do you think the 2012-2013 Student Government Association was most beneficial to the student body, and why?
Since I was not active on SGA and have not been, I believe that that's something that I really need to look into and brush up on. So,
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. This concludes the third round of questioning. We will now move on to the fourth and final round of questioning of the debate. During this round, I would like to invite members of the audience to ask any questions they might have for the candidates. When you ask your question, please stand up and speak loudly so we can hear you. Also, candidates, please try to keep your responses less than 2 minutes. This portion of the debate will last up to 10 minutes. We will now begin the fourth and final questioning portion of the debate. Josh.
Go ahead.
Hey, Josh, can we go ahead and tackle the first two questions?
Thank you, Mr. Waters. Out of all of those questions you asked, to me, the most important one was the first one in the Greek thing. To me, the biggest thing that we have on this campus is diversity. If you look around, you obviously have supporters of the Callaway, the Ellerton and Callaway sitting in this front row. You have some of our supporters back there. You have Sigma Chi in the back. You have blacks in the back, and you kind of have everybody mixed together. My biggest thing is diversity. We shouldn't be like this. If you look around, everybody's in their same friend group. We all have to expand out and make this one university, and that's kind of what I'm saying with the ownership. That to me, that's the biggest thing that's going on right now, and diversity is the biggest issue that we have right now with the student body and the constituents.
Okay, I guess we'll go with, are we going to take one question at a time, DeAndre? Is that what you want to do?
I mean, I just picked out the one who's most important to me. I don't think
Okay,
it's possible
I'll
to
go with
answer
the
all four
Greek
of them.
thing just to, I guess, feed off his. Jack and I both are part of a Greek organization. Sarah is part of a Greek organization. And I think what's more important is that we are part of some organization on campus. It was the organization we chose to benefit our college experience the most, and it has benefited myself to the fullest extent. I've had a great college experience, not just from Greek Life, but because of other organizations I've chosen to participate in. Greek Life, SGA, Pre-Law Club, College of Republicans, and many more. So I think the most important, I will feed off DeAndre, is people getting involved, choosing the organization that best fits them, that they can extend their college experience to the fullest.
Can I piggyback off her response, please? Yeah. All right, the way she put it with the Greek situation, yes, all three of them are Greek, and I'm not Greek. So therefore, I don't feel like a Greek organization can basically litigate exactly what direction you're going into. Like as I mentioned, I'm not Greek, and I'm still up here running for SGA president. You can still have a well-rounded college experience without being Greek, and we must basically reach out to those students who are not Greek and let them know that they're a part of this thing as well.
I'm gonna. I was gonna.
All right, go ahead.
That is a good question. Actually, I have not mentioned that I am Greek. Everybody else has. So I think I'm qualified. I want people to vote for me because I believe I'm qualified for this position through leadership experiences I've had throughout my life, not just in college. I was raised in I had a single home, single mother. I helped raise my brother that was 6.5 years younger than me, that had severe ADHD and got sent home from school on multiple occasions. I had to sit out for many things with my friends in high school. I was also part of Chain Reaction Youth Council in high school, which is a March of Dimes committee where we set up fundraisers to raise money. I was the chairman for the March for Babies 2 years in a row. And so don't vote for me because I'm Greek. Vote for me because of who I am and who you think should be it. And if you don't want to vote for me for that, vote for DeAndre. But don't vote for me because I'm Greek. Vote for me because of who I am, who my parents have raised me to be, and who I'm going to be in the future.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
With diversity. Well, okay. Outside of the Greek organization, I have made connections with friends. I don't have them like the perfect ones right now, but that is why I want to be SGA president, because I am willing to make the connections. I am willing to work with other people. I wasn't raised in a single track home where you were taught to only be friends with certain people. I was taught to be friends with everybody. And so I'm willing to work with anybody and everybody. And a lot of it, one thing on there that I have is the connection with the intramural fields to to campus, getting off the railroad tracks. Well, that will affect a lot of international students that cannot get cars because it's so expensive to do so. And so I believe, I'm not just thinking for them, for us, for Greeks, or for just certain student organizations, but trying to get everybody involved.
Natalie?
I had all intentions in the world on attending that meeting. At the last minute, my organic chemistry teacher asked me to be in class that way I can do my organic chemistry lab with my lab partner. Therefore, I was not able to attend that meeting. To me, like I said, this is an academic institution, and therefore, at that moment, I put being in that organic chemistry class over that action fund meeting simply because you're the commissioner of that meeting, and I feel like you should be able to find me a proxy simply because you're the commissioner, and I was just one of the people that hearing in on it.
Sean?
Because I come from a neutral perspective, like I said, majority of people are hearing Greek. I have people on the Greek side that supports me as well on the non-Greek side that supports me. So therefore, I'm kind of in the middle. I can interact with both the Greek and the non-Greek because I come from a neutral perspective and I see both point of views from both sides.
All right, and time is now ended. This concludes the questioning portion of the debate. We'll now move to the conclusion of the debate. Each presidential candidate will offer a closing statement that will last up to 2 minutes. When your time limit is up, the timer will sound. Jack, you will offer your closing statement first. DeAndre, you will be second. So Jack, go ahead.
Tomorrow and Wednesday, from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. is the voting. When you go to select who you want to vote, just remember who do you want to represent this university on administrative level for the students. Remember who's going to be on time to show up for meetings, who's going to do their duty to be president, and who's going to listen to everybody and have honor and do what they need to do to be president. And when you make that decision, cast your vote, and whoever that may be, just make sure it's the right one, but do vote and don't vote. Do vote, don't not vote.
All right, thank you, Jack. DeAndre, you may now do your closing statement.
My vision of president is based on advocacy and service. Therefore, I look forward to working on and provide services for the whole student body from a neutral perspective. With that being said, when you cast your votes, just always remember that regardless of who you vote for, that I come with a neutral perspective. I look at the Greek, the non-Greek, the black, the white as a neutral perspective and everything. So when you cast your vote, just always remember that we chose our university, now it's time to continue to create it.
Thank you, candidates. This concludes the 2013 Student Government Association Presidential and Vice Presidential Candidate Debate. I would just like to say thank you to all who came out and shared your opinions and offered questions to the candidates. Please do not forget to vote on March 12th, starting at 9 a.m. until March 13th at 4 p.m. Voting will be held online. Once again, thank you for your attendance, and go Red Wolves.